First thing that popped in my head and what I've been seeing tuning into like 2026 is that a lot more people are about to be contacted. And you don't have to wait for something outside of yourself to have these experiences. I believe a lot more people are going to start having some sort of a spiritual or contact experience. These different like starseed envoys or light workers, star family might come to them in a dream. And this just happened on Joe Rogan. I made a little short video on it. He was just contacted by what I believe is probably his star family through a dream. He said it was the most real thing that he's ever experienced, and he said it was so bizarre. They're starting to contact not just us, regular people, but public figures who are going to create a mass ripple effect. It's acting as a tuning fork. It's coming into our solar system. Scientists know this, that it has been interacting with our sun, which in turn has been sending solar flares and interacting with us and interacting with the Schumann resonance, the Earth's heartbeat. That's activating our dormant DNA. Humanity is making a choice right now. We're moving towards, a more awakened civilization, but there are still some people who are living in a very fear-based, angry, limited reality. So we're seeing that more kind of a splitting in the collective. You are the technology. You are the advanced technology. You are the answer that you have been looking for.
Welcome, everyone, to the Heart Coherence Collaborative. Today, I'm really excited because we have our good friend Lily Nova back with us today. Welcome back, Lily.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, so Lily came highly recommended from one of our group members, Rick, who Lily has now met. So shout out to Rick. And since our last interview, there's been so much going on, and Lily has all these amazing insights based off of her background and her unique experience. So whenever I'm trying to tune in to, the new year, the predictions that everyone's talking about, I like to bring on guests that I really trust. And you've kind of risen to the top really quickly in that realm. So I would love to just, before we dive in, if you could give everyone a little bit of background on Talia, how you came to this ability of kind of tuning into different things and seeing what's going on.
Right. So my journey really started back in 2020 during lockdown. I started shooting space photography. And while I was doing that, I started being visited by extraterrestrials and UFOs. And I was not into this field whatsoever. I think that's part of the reason why they chose me, because I was open. I had an open mind and good intentions. They can tell that, the ETs, they can see you. So they know if you have a good heart, if you have good intentions, if you're open. But also because I wasn't involved in any of this, so I was basically starting from scratch. I didn't have any prior bias or knowledge about any of this. So they started showing up. I started documenting them with my camera. A relationship developed. And then shortly after, I met Talia, which is one of the beings whose craft I was seeing and documenting. So I have a lot of evidence of these experiences, which is a bit unique too. That's been featured recently on Ancient Aliens. I was just in the recent series this season that's playing right now. The episode is Aliens in Our Midst. If anybody wants to check that out, that has some of my footage in it. I've been featured on the Travel Channel and different news articles, things like that, because of my footage. And so Talia is the being that I made contact with who is showing up. I have contact with many different beings: Arcturians, Pleiadians, Lyrans. Talia is specifically an Andromedan being, and she's actually me from the future. Nice. So I didn't know that for about 6 months talking to her. And then finally they told me that, because that really expanded my mind and just blew my perception like oh my God, so I think a lot of these beings are us from the future, or they are our star families. And so I have regular contact with her, and they helped activate psychic abilities. And that's actually common with UFO encounters and some of these spiritual encounters, even like NDEs, like near-death experiences, things like that. Like it just opens up your extrasensory perception. So I worked closely with these beings to developing different psychic senses like remote viewing, clairvoyance. So I'll see a lot of visions. My third eye just busted wide open, and I started seeing all of these things and tapping into like the Akashic records and just the quantum field and learning how that works, because it's all around us, and anybody can do that actually. So that's also something I'm an advocate for, is I wasn't born with these gifts and abilities. Anybody can activate them and develop them.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Now, how does that look like for you when you are tuning into, say, 3i Atlas or 2026? Like, is it like an eyes closed process? Like, do you have a specific routine? Does it just happen to you automatically, or?
So sometimes I'll just get the information will just start flowing if I'm in a certain state. Like I could even be like hiking or, in nature, just kind of in an uplifted high vibe state. The information can start coming through. But whenever I sit down to do like kind of full deep dive sessions, I will often turn on like binaural beats with headphones, and I'll put I have like this little towel that I put over my eyes, ironically, so that I can see with my third eye. So I cover my eyes to block out any light. And for me, it comes often through visions and kind of packets of information or downloads. And some of this information I'll get through contact sessions. So I'll get them through beings where they're teaching me or showing me something. And sometimes it'll be just me tuning into the quantum field or the timeline. So I'll kind of like project my consciousness or just connect with that, and I set that intention, and then I see what comes through.
Very cool. We'd love to talk a little bit more about seeing with your third eye, because I hear a lot of people talk about that, but I would love it if you could explain it a little more. Like, so your eyes are closed. For somebody that's new to it, where is your third eye? And then what's happening at your third eye? Are images actually coming from that specific location, or are they projecting out?
Yeah, it's so fascinating because, oh my God, like we have superhuman gifts and abilities that are just dormant. So whenever I first started experiencing this, I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. Sometimes it can be like a movie playing in your head. But I'll say this, not everybody is going to have the same gifts and abilities. Some people are better at hearing. Some people are better at feeling. I get a lot of people who they feel something, but they don't see it. For me personally, I worked very hard at training my third eye with vision, and that kind of seems to be one of my main gifts. So how it first came to me, I started a meditation practice guided by the extraterrestrials. They were like, you need to start doing meditation, and we'll be able to send you more information this way. Because you have to get into kind of like a you have to get into a clear state of being.
That would be something, right?
Blooper. It's okay. Which you know that because you do heart and brain coherence.
Yes, for sure.
So that's basically the state that you have to be in. You're not thinking with your logical mind. You're not all of these thoughts. Sometimes thoughts arise, and that's okay, but you just let them go. But really, you're moving the focus to being more heart-centered and just kind of cutting out the chatter. And then that's whenever these things, you can just kind of pick up on them more. But when I first started, I started doing a daily meditation practice. I would just do a 10-minute meditation in the shower. And after doing that for about a week, I received my first vision, which was a lion being. And it came through so vivid and so clear, like I could see it. And it wasn't me imagining it. You can tell it's coming from, I don't know if I want to say outside of yourself, but it's just there. You're not actively creating a line in your mind. It just pops in. And so your third eye is right here. And often I'll close my eyes and I block out the light so that I can really see it pick up on any subtle images or in fluctuations. And I would start seeing light, like bright light sometimes, which is interesting. Those can actually be beings or angels. They're of a higher frequency. They're made of light a lot of the time. They're bright. Like you think of like I'm not a religious person, and I haven't read the Bible, but I believe in the Bible, it talks about these illuminated beings appearing. It's like these angelics, and it's always light, right? So sometimes I'll see like a flash of light, or I'll see different colors, and I kind of focus, whenever I close my eyes, I kind of focus my eyes with them closed on my third eye center. It's like I'm diving into my third eye, if that makes sense. So I'm not just, my eyes aren't closed and I'm just not sitting there waiting for something to happen. Like I set the intention and I'm like kind of looking through my third eye, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So focus on that part in the center of your forehead with your eyes closed, and don't try too hard because you might push it away. It's like the law of attraction. If you want it too bad, it might escape you or it might resist you. But if you just kind of do that and practice with it, you might start seeing colors or shapes or things like that.
Now, what would you recommend doing when you do see colors? Because I think a lot of people probably have seen or experienced colors in one point in their journey, but maybe didn't associate it with being a being. So would you just recommend continuing to relax into it?
Yes. And I kind of color coded the different beings and different things. So that's also a great tip that helped me differentiate between what was happening. I would say, like for me, so I have a strong connection with the galactics. So I would say, okay, for Arcturian, if there's an Arcturian being with me, show me the color purple. Or if there's a Pleiadian being, show me the color blue. And so I kind of gave them like a sign or code for them to let me know. You can also be picking up on, there's different angels that have different colors associated with them. So like Archangel Raphael is emerald green. You've got like the violet purple color. That's often like Saint Germain, the Ascended Masters, the violet flame. So you can even just look up, spiritual colors and different beings associated with them. And that might be what you're seeing. But the color is also a frequency, certain frequency, and they're associated with different chakras too. But if you're ever confused, if you ever start seeing something and you don't know exactly what it means, just ask the universe, literally just ask. And ask them to confirm what it could be. And then just be open to receive whatever comes up. And then you can even do like the color coding thing, like when you're trying to tell me this or trying to show me this, or whenever it's this, show me this. And then just kind of play with it.
Yeah. So then you have what you believe to know who it is. Then do you just listen? I'm kind of like guiding you in a master class in channeling right now.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. I'm so passionate about it because I learned this from scratch and I didn't take any courses on it. I created some psychic development courses, but I was just kind of experimenting and learning as I went. Sometimes it comes as words. It doesn't always come as words though. Sometimes it just comes as an understanding. Yes, you're listening with your heart, you could say. But it's not always going to come as a word or a sentence. These beings are highly telepathic, so they don't use language like we do. It's a whole understanding that comes to you. So I would say just honor that. And then for those who just get a feeling, like, oh, I have a feeling that I shouldn't drive that way to work today. Or I have a feeling that somebody might be thinking about me. Or I have a feeling that I should reach out to this person. Like, that's a download too. That's information that you're picking up from your guides or the quantum field. And I would say honor that as well.
Very cool. Now I'm curious, based off of everything going on since we last had an interview, is there anything your heart is feeling particularly interested in sharing at this moment?
Well, this kind of goes into, I've done a lot of coverage on Three Eye Atlas, so we can talk about that as well. But also the first thing that popped in my head and what I've been seeing, tuning into like 2026, is that a lot more people are about to be contacted. And you don't have to wait for something outside of yourself. to have these experiences. But I believe a lot more people are going to start having some sort of a spiritual or contact experience. These different like starseed envoys or light workers, they might, their star family might come to them in a dream. And this just happened on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
That clip that I made a little short video on it, he was just contacted by what I believe is probably his star family through a dream. And he got to see them face to face. And he said it was the most real thing that he's ever experienced. And he said it was so bizarre. And it really had him kind of shaken up. But he said these beings looked human, but they had a little bit of a bigger head. Their eyes were bigger. And they were a little bit tall and thin. But they looked pretty human. And they just basically like introduced themselves. And he said there was a telepathic communication that ensued. And they were basically like, get comfortable with this.
Really?
Because we're preparing people for open contact. So we're working our way there. So I think more people are going to start having experiences. They might see a UFO, or they might just have like a nice dream or some sort of a spiritual encounter. The veil's getting very thin right now, and more people are kind of activating their extrasensory perception.
So for them to go to Joe Rogan, I mean, that's kind of a very strategic move that would make a lot of sense, right?
They're smart. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
because he has a massive platform, and that's changed his life forever.
And he's open-minded.
Right.
So that's very interesting. Now,
so they're starting to contact not just us, regular people, but public figures who are going to create a mass ripple effect, and even some like celebrities and things like that. Not that we don't need to idol anybody, but they've got some big pull. They impact a lot of people. A lot of people listen to them. So I think more and more people kind of higher up who have the capacity to share a message are going to be having experiences.
Now, have you tuned into that specific situation at all? Is that something you can do to kind of like see what type of species it was that contacted him?
That's a great question. I always like to, before I that's his business. I don't want to, I just want to ask and make sure that it is okay that I tune into that. But from the description, they seem to be probably Pleiadian. Because they were tall, thinner, their eyes were a little bit bigger, and they had a little bit bigger heads. I'm hearing Alpha Centauri right now, though. Actually, I just heard Alpha Centauri.
What is Alpha Centauri?
So that is a star that's actually pretty close to us, Centauri system. And what's interesting is that, so it's actually our closest stellar neighbor. Ooh. A trinary system composed of sun-like stars. And you see Alpha Centauri, so there's beings associated with Alpha Centauri. They do look human-like. And you'll see it a lot in shows. Like, I think Lost in Space, or it might not be Lost in Space, one of these pretty popular shows, they're leaving Earth to go colonize Alpha Centauri. So it's in a lot of these shows, too, because it's our closest neighbor. So they could be one of the first races that introduced themselves to humanity.
Oh, that's so interesting. Our mission here at the Heart Coherence Collaborative is to get people in touch with the healing power of the heart.
And we really need your help. Right now, only 1% of viewers subscribe. We are aiming to take that number to 6%.
The reason why we want to do that is the more people that subscribe, the more people in the world can learn the magical practice of heart coherence.
So please help us out. If you ever listened, if you love this message, please just take a moment to subscribe.
Thank you so much. We love you.
We love you.
There's this guy named Tyler Ellis who channels, and one of his specialties is like hybrids. And he said that I have a hybrid child that's being raised, and it's named Alpha. So I'm curious if that was like, yeah. Very, very interesting connection there. So just to talk a little bit more about this Joe Rogan situation. So basically, they have contacted him in his sleep, and you believe that more humans are gonna continue to be contacted in this way, which will then prep for actual contact?
Yeah, basically. So that's one of the ways that they prepare you, because that's going to be a big shift. That's going to be very startling for a lot of people. So they have to disclosure has to happen in stages. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the other main things that I was picking up when tuning into 2026. This is a very big transition year. Mm-hmm. We're going to experience a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And we need to have an internal shift, though.
Yeah.
It's very internal based. So what better way to prepare people and help shift their perception than to have a personal experience? Because I can tell you all day that aliens exist, but until you see them or experience them, or I can tell you all day that angels exist, but until you have an experience or you're contacted by a loved one who's passed on, then you really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what he said that really struck me was that he was emphasizing, this is the most vivid dream I've ever had by far.
Yeah, and he could have actually been on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And they could have put that as kind of like a screen memory or a, it's strange. Reality is strange. And these galactics can do things. They're very, very advanced. These dreams, my star family has told me, and some of the galactics, they call some of these dreams training modules, where you're actually having a real experience, and you might actually be on a ship with them, but you don't remember it, or you remember it in a dream that makes you more comfortable. But it's a training module kind of transmitted through a dream that is teaching you something or helping to expand your consciousness. So I believe that's what he experienced. I think he had a very genuine, real experience. It just unraveled as a dream, but it was actually more than a dream.
Yeah. I would love to create some sort of place where everyone could just report any of these dreams they're having, so we can see if there's any similarities in what people are experiencing, Yeah.
I mean, if anybody wants to post in the comments if they're having any dreams that would be awesome. I've gotten a lot of feedback through the videos that I've been posting recently that a lot of people are having and have had experiences like that.
Yeah. Now, what would be a follow-up step with somebody like Joe? Would they just be done now with Joe? It's all right, we accomplished what we wanted, spread the word that Joe's having alien dreams. Now we're out of here. Or are they actually going to try to do something else with Joe?
So they'll give you time to integrate that. But what I was hearing immediately was they're going to bring people to him that are going to help him to understand and dissect that and further along on his journey. So that's kind of the next step. Now he needs support. Yeah, now he needs support in the physical realm of people who understand that and can help kind of expand his perception on that. Some people might just say, oh, that was just a dream. No, they're going to bring him somebody that says, no, that was more than a dream.
Right. Yeah, I would say, based off of my observation on his channel up until this point, it's been mostly about people who've potentially seen an alien here or there, and they talk about the contact, but it's probably never been more somebody really explaining the different species, what they do, why they might be with him. So maybe that is the next step for him.
I mean, I hope so. I think eventually that's coming.
Why are you laughing?
Eventually that's coming. And, there's probably people that have had, actual contact. It just has not been allowed to go on that public of a platform yet because our consciousness level maybe wasn't ready to receive that information. So he's probably met people like that. He's met Alex Jones, who talks about the reptilians, true. But, people were kind of laughing at Alex, but now they're like, holy crap, he's been actually speaking truth for the last, for decades now. But I think to help him better, that should be part of it, yes. But I think he's gonna have some interpersonal relationships, people that are kind of put in his path to help him better understand. And maybe he has another experience. I know he uses plant medicine, or I don't know if I know he's done DMT at least.
Yeah.
And he's had some experiences through that. That it could be a way that they contact also. Not saying go out and do, not saying go out and do, drugs to have these experiences, but it can thin the veil for you to be able to see more. And sometimes it can have a very profound experience. So they might contact through that too. He might start having more dreams. He might see a ship. That's how they started contacting me. Was through seeing their spaceships, and then more of a relationship developed through that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they really tried to make him sort of like a leader of the contact, like who better?
Right.
Yeah.
He's got good reach, and he is pretty open-minded, so it has to align with what the collective is ready for. But I think this is a really good step in the right direction.
Now, once they contact us, what is their objective?
What is their objective?
Yeah, like what's the, everyone talks about contact, but what are we trying to, what are they trying to do once they do contact us?
Right. So for me, it was very much about personal development and very much about teaching me who I am and the power that we have within ourselves. We've been programmed to think that we're very small, we're very limited, but really there is so much that we're capable of, and they are our star brothers and sisters. We are related to them. So eventually rejoining the galactic community. Rejoining with them. I'm sure then trading would ensue between different planets, different races, trading technology, trading information, helping like that. But right now it's very much about an internal shift and helping us to just expand our consciousness and raise our frequency. So it really, we can't look outside of ourselves, but they're here to help guide and remind us. Because like I said, a lot of these beings are our cosmic family. We're related to them physically and through like past lives and things like that. So they're gently guiding us to remembering who we are and stepping into our sovereignty. And we also have to have peace on earth. We have to heal. There's so many shifts that have to occur that we're working through right now. That's why I believe 2026 is going to be a very big transitional year where more of us are becoming more heart-centered. We may see an increase in duality and polarity because a lot of these shadows and things that have been hidden within us, as well as in our external environment, with different black projects and, conspiracies, things we've been lied to about, our ancient history just erased. Oh no, none of that happened. The pyramids were just built like yesterday. And you know what I mean? Like all of those things, those are lies. All of those things we need to realize, oh my God, we've been here for a lot longer than we think.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big internal shift, but there's a lot of transitions that we're going to be experiencing, even with our infrastructure. Like the financial system was another really big one that I've been picking up for 2026 is changes in our financial system.
Yeah. How?
Well, we are moving towards more of a quantum financial system. So the dollar right now isn't backed by anything. Money is very corrupt. 1% of the population holds 99% of the money. So that needs to shift because that's corrupt. And that is a way that we have been very limited or enslaved, if you will, because people are struggling to make ends meet. It's just been this chase for money when really we should be living in an abundant state. And it should be more fair. So we're going to be moving to a more quantum financial system. I've seen silver going way up, and it's already doubled in the last 5 months. It's over doubled. So silver going up, we should be moving to a silver and gold backed monetary system, and also digital currency, non-centralized. So that way it's not only one company has all the power. It's fair, it's traceable, it's transparent, and it's non-centralized. So not one company or entity has control of all of it, which is basically what we've been, like the Federal Reserve, what we've been experiencing. And cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency, I believe, is going to be paving a really big way. And eventually, I know crypto can be pretty confusing right now and hard to set up, but I believe it will become more, they're already setting the stage for this to be a global, very easy way to easily transfer money and make money. And that way it's transparent. So XRP specifically, I've been getting really big hits and messages on. My Star family, they don't give me financial advice, okay? Normally.
Yeah.
But about 3 years ago, they said XRP.
Wow.
They said, this is the way of the future, and this is going to skyrocket. And they showed me, like, I had put like a couple $1,000s in at the time. They showed me it going up, like hitting 200,000 plus.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, so I invested some, and then they were just like, set it and forget it.
Nice.
Just act like it doesn't exist,
Yeah.
So I've left it alone. It's over quadrupled since I first put that in.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. And the reason it's not about money, I also want to stress this. It's about an energy exchange. It's not about money. In order to build a new Earth, right now, because eventually we'll be moving past money, right? But right now, it costs money to build a school. It costs money to build a healing center. It costs money to do all of these things. So a lot of light workers who are living in integrity and who want to make the world a better place, that is going to be the financial system shifting is going to help fund that and make that possible.
I love it. Yeah, I have a good crypto portfolio, and I have it in stuff that I believe there's a good energy behind it, and based off of the future, it's going to just explode. But I will put some money in XRP.
Right now is a good time. It's low right now.
Everything's down.
Yeah, everything's down. And I will say this. So if you look at the patterns, I was seeing XRP really going up in 2026. But if you look at the patterns, around Christmas time in January, it usually dips. So if you just look at previous years, so just
good time to buy.
So just letting people know, if they put some in and it dips, like, don't worry, the market is always ebbing and flowing. It's always going to go up and down, but eventually long term, that's why this isn't a get rich quick. This is fund your dreams and so that you can be free of financial slavery, a more long term thing. But I think we're going to see a lot of movement over the next year and next few years with this new financial system being put into place.
Yeah. Oh, I could go on and on about that. That's exciting. One of the things I don't want to keep circling back to the Joe Rogan thing too much, but I really do because it's so fascinating. But if somebody told me that Joe Rogan was being contacted by extraterrestrials in his dreams, I would probably say that's a sign that you're in the new Earth, But I'm curious, because we've had a lot of people on and there's different perspectives on the new Earth and how Earth is kind of evolving. Some people say it's splitting into two completely different Earths. Is that your perspective?
Yeah, so I've actually been receiving some messages recently on this timeline split or bifurcation process. Now, I haven't done any research on this, and I'm actually working on a video where I really deep dive because I want to understand the mechanisms of how that works. But so far, what I'm seeing is, in the messages I've been getting, humanity is making a choice right now, and I believe we're moving towards, a more awakened civilization, but there are still some people who are living in a very fear-based, angry, limited kind of 3D reality. So you could be living a completely different reality than the person next to you. We're co-creating our reality, each of our realities. we could have a totally different perspective on something. So we're kind of choosing right now what we are putting our energy into and what we are creating. And that's also like the polarity and duality between that, I think, is becoming more obvious of who is still living in a fear, angry, war-based mindset. Right.
Yeah.
Compared to somebody who is wanting to be more heart-centered and truth.
Yeah.
Just truth and stepping more into their power and moving towards peace. So we're seeing that more, kind of a splitting in the collective. I believe there's also like a kind of a quantum timeline split where maybe that those timelines literally do split, and one is a more negative timeline, one's a more positive. Now, I don't think we have to worry about like half of our friends and family disappearing. I don't think it's going to be anything like that.
Right.
And I think when the timelines like split, either that negative one, the more negative one, either that collapses, or what I've been picking up is they will have the opportunity to grow and learn and ascend out of that. But yeah, so we're on the up, but I feel like there's this higher timeline that's solidifying right now. In 3i Atlas, I saw actually was playing a role in that. I know there's a lot of different perspectives on that, but I feel like we're kind of stabilizing this higher timeline now, and we're making a collective choice. So it's like really important. We're already on it. There are some who aren't, but maybe that will fizzle out, hopefully, or maybe it will become so dualistic until they kind of learn the lesson and have an internal shift.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm still diving into that more, but that's what I have gathered so far. And they're emphasizing we have a lot of shadow work, or the collective has shadow work to do in order to just ascend up, because there's a lot of baggage that can't come with us, right? Into the party.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that just happened recently for me was I went to a BioCybernaut, but a part of that process is you go back and you look at your childhood and you see what you didn't receive at that time that you may have needed. And I went back to little me and, not getting the love I wanted as a kid. Like, what the next step in that is to really feel the emotion that you were feeling at that time that you might have suppressed. And what I realized was I suppressed so much anger, and so I went back and I felt that. Like, I literally felt it so intensely and just let go all of my anger. And it felt so amazing. But then once I had moved through that anger, I was able to, for the first time, feel sadness, because I'd always masked my anger, my sadness with anger. And so then I felt that and I really released it. And then under that, I felt my fear. And so I really just sat with these things and just felt them so much. And I feel like this was a part of like my personal transcending into to make it onto the new earth, I had to really let go of all these things. And so if anyone listening is feeling stuck, I would be happy to help you just for fun, to guide you through feeling some of those things that maybe you had stuck, because I think it really can help.
Yeah, 100%. And what you resist persists.
Yes.
So if you're masking it, that's another thing. Like, these masks are coming off. These masks are dissolving for us personally and individually, as well as on the world stage and collectively. These things that have been hidden or suppressed are all coming out to the surface to be looked at, to be processed and transmuted and transcended. It's incredibly important. And yeah, a lot of the time you just have to sit with it until it doesn't bother you so much, until you can kind of neutralize those, I don't necessarily want to call them negative emotions, but emotions like anger, fear, all of that.
Right.
It could be very triggering.
They're depleting emotions. They're ones that actually don't charge up your energy. They like take your energy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's really powerful and really important.
Yeah, you gotta heal it to feel it, right?
Yeah, feel it to heal it. Yep.
Yeah. I said it backwards.
you're on the money. That's it. And those are some of the things that the Galactics were teaching me too. They were teaching me how to heal myself, how to heal my childhood, how to heal even past lifetime things that I didn't realize were still impacting me. Because some of these are kind of like karmic loops or karmic patterns or ancestral patterns, because you have you carry within your cells, scientists know this, I believe it's 12 generations of pain. So if your grandmother was had a very traumatizing death, or something very traumatizing happened to her 6 generations back, that's still stored in your DNA, in your cells.
That makes sense. Yeah. Wow. Now, we made it this far in the conversation with talking too much in depth about 3i Atlas. And I know our collaborative would love to hear your perspective on it, its influence on us. If you could go in a little more depth on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm going to completely nerd out. So my perspective, because I've focused on this so much over the last few months, my perspective is probably going to be different. And why are people having different perspectives? I think there's different reasons for that. I believe it mirrors your consciousness back to you. Also, it kind of is showing you your level of awareness or consciousness. And I believe also there's been fear narratives that are going around just to close people off to what it really is. Like, some people have said it's a ship full of reptilians or whatever. Or some people are just saying, oh, it's just a comet, whatever. So my perspective, and at first I thought, okay, if this is an alien ship, why is it coming into our solar system in this way? That just sounds stupid, because they have the technology to blip in and out. Why are they just...
Stefano said that.
No, that's literally what I thought too. Yeah. And I wasn't even going to tune into it. Yeah. And one of my friends was like, you're missing the boat on this if you don't tune into it. So I was like, okay. And then I had such a shift and such a beautiful experience whenever I did tune into it. And I just went in with zero expectation. This was months ago. And what I saw was incredible. So, and it made sense. So the reason why it's coming in the way it is there's a few different reasons. So it is part of a disclosure initiative. It's helping to kind of seed that and open people's minds, because more people are looking up, more people are questioning it, more people are thinking, could it be extraterrestrials? It's having an impact on the collective, and it's done things like it's shifted speed, it's changed color, it's done all of these anomalies, and it's basically like the Galactics saying, hey, this isn't acting like a normal comment. Do you get it yet? But it's kind of these subtle things that you could write off, but really, like, scientifically, that doesn't make sense. It's acting different. It's not too obvious, but if you're paying attention, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways, but really it's acting as a tuning fork. It's coming into our solar system, and it is having a reaction with all of the planets, with the Earth, and with the sun. And that's very well documented. Scientists know this, that it has been interacting with our sun, which in turn has been sending solar flares and interacting with us and interacting with the Schumann resonance, the Earth's heartbeat. So in that way, it is subtly but very directly impacting us. In these Schumann spikes, that's the Earth's frequency. It's shifting our frequency, our energy field. The sun carries all of these light codes. It's light. It is life. It is source, because source is light. That is activating our dormant DNA as well. So these light codes, I'm sure you've heard of light codes.
Oh, for sure.
That's activating our dormant DNA. That's helping to thin the veil. That's helping for new gifts and abilities and quantum shifts to happen more easily. So the people who are more open to this will be feeling it more and can receive more of these upgrades. But it's impacting everybody. But I think if you're in tune with it, you can experience it more, or you might have noticed a massive transformation over the last couple months or over the last week. It's been crazy. It's also been collecting data as it's been coming in. So it is like a structure. It is a ship, some sort of a craft, an ancient craft. I've seen some of these guardian races who have contributed their DNA to us working with this. It's been collecting and assessing kind of our consciousness level, how we're integrating the solar flares, the solar energies, these new frequencies. That's another part of what it's doing. And yeah, so it's offering us a shift. It's acting as a catalyst. And if you go back to the ancient prophecies and like the Hopi prophecy, they always talk about this comet or this blue star Kachina that came in, a sign in the sky that appeared, and it marked a time of great remembrance.
Wow.
The Hopi prophecies, look them up. Blue star Kachina prophecy. They also talk about a man in a red hat who would come and help purify the earth. Wow. and rid the planet of corruption. So, and these are old prophecies.
Who's the man in the red hat?
Well,
yeah, yeah, okay, cool.
Whatever you might think of him, he's shaking stuff up.
Yeah.
It's a catalyst. He's a disruptor. He's disrupting the old paradigm. And another part of this is, and what 3i Atlas has been doing, what I've noticed, like November was rough for me, you guys. November was rough.
A lot of people. Me too.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God, I took a month off of YouTube even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I took some time off. But with the solar energies and 3i Atlas coming in, it was also in the heightened frequencies. That's pushing the darkness out. That's pushing the density out.
Oh, feel it leaving. Yeah.
Right. That's shaking the shadows up within us as well as collectively. So that can be messy sometimes. That's a purging, a purification process. So it's about an internal shift. We're not going to be waiting for a massive ship to appear in the sky. A lot of people would probably think that's fake or blue beam anyway. Right, it's going to be an internal shift, but this has been a catalyst that's been working on us at a very deep cellular level, energetic level, frequency level, as well as helping to just kind of plant seeds in the collective. But all of this is it's disrupting the old paradigm. It's acting as an accelerant for us to more rapidly work through our traumas, heal, and have these just beautiful shifts and help us to co-create the reality that we want.
Wow.
Essentially.
Yeah. The shift intensity is so massive at times. It can be really, really challenging. So I've just been trying to speak openly when I am struggling about how I'm struggling, just so other people can relate if they're going through it, And it's cool to hear you be open about how you were struggling for a month, because a lot of people think like, oh yeah, you guys run the channels, you have to be this way or that way, but we struggle too,
Yeah, we're humans also.
Yeah, for sure. It's intense for everybody. Now,
and that's why it's happening in stages, because if it were to happen all at once, oh my God, our circuits would be fried.
Yeah, for sure. Now, is there anything else that you are, I guess, observing when tuning into 2026 that we should be aware of?
So financial shifts were a big one. I was also picking up on more disclosures coming in, and this can be a drip disclosure process. Like, here's something, then here's something, then here's something, having to do with probably more whistleblowers coming forward, masks coming off, things that have been hidden being exposed, and also with having to do with children and some of the dark things that have taken place on the planet. I was seeing a big shift in more of that coming to the surface. We're purging the planet of darkness, essentially. Like, we have to look at all the shadows and transmute them and, heal them. Also, the monetary system, big shifts in the infrastructure for that. They're already setting the stage for cryptocurrency and to be a more easily accessible global network. And I'm seeing so more contact experiences, and I believe more people with large platforms having these sort of internal shifts with spirituality or even contact, and then there was one other one. So crumbling foundations of the old systems is going to be a big part. So that's why I was saying this is a big transition year. We're getting rid of all of the old systems. Those are crumbling, and we're starting to put new systems in place that will support the new earth. Another thing that I was picking up on was a lot of discoveries, new discoveries being made with, technology, tech advancements, potentially flying cars, Mars recruitment, Mars recruitment was coming through.
What's that all about? I've never heard of that.
Well, I think Elon Musk is going to start, trying to send people to cultivate Mars,
Oh, wow.
working towards, sending people there or something like that, establishing some sort of a base on Mars. So we might see some news on that. Also, ancient structures being found. That challenges what we think we know about our history and our planet. So I was picking up on a lot of movement in the oceans and under the water. So there are a lot of ancient structures and sites and even craft that are hidden under the water. A specific one that I picked up on was the Baltic Sea. Something being found there. And then after I got that information, I asked somebody about it. I was like, have you ever heard of the Baltic Sea? I've never heard anybody talking about, anything happening there. And they were like, yeah, there's this Baltic Sea anomaly. If you Google it, it actually looks like the Millennial Falcon from Star Wars, that spaceship. Yeah. It's under the water, but you can look up pictures of it. So they found that. Crazy, right? Back in 2011, I think. But then it's been quiet since then. So I was picking up on there's much more down there. Yes, there's a ship down there, but there's much more. Like it could be a whole base, ancient ruins. And then in doing research after I got that information, I saw that last year a UAP investigative team went down under the water and they did some more scans of that area, but they have not released their data yet. So we might see that data being released specifically around the Baltic Sea, picking up on Atlantic Ocean, Bimini, which is supposed to have remnants of Atlantis. So, and then probably more than that. Oh, they just found a structure in the Bermuda Triangle under the water too. That just happened in the last week or so. So I'm seeing a lot of movement where these ancient sites that are actually very advanced are starting to be discovered, which is going to shift everything about who we think we are and the history of our planet, which is very important. In the movie Dune, too, they say, in order to know your future, you must know our past. And that just really stuck with me. And so I feel like we're going to have a lot more ancient discoveries coming up, probably more with the pyramids. They did those scans and found these massive structures and like a whole underground network and city under the pyramids. So more things like that coming to the surface that are going to be a big deal.
Very cool. Now, in order to know the future, we have to know the past. Talia is from the future. Do you know who you were in the past?
Yeah, I have had some past lifetime memories that have come up. One that came up was Lyra. I was a feline being in the Lyra constellation. That was whenever it was attacked. That was many, many years ago. So I have Lyran heritage, and that's the original humanoid blueprint. We're seeded from Lyra, and then they spread throughout the galaxy. That's the original humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs. I have also had some memories of being in Atlantis as well. And in Atlantis, I was this specific lifetime I've seen, I was a male on a council. And this is whenever Atlantis was starting to go downhill. It was starting to be infiltrated. there was corruption. And I was on this council and I was making kind of secretive plans to try and thwart the corruption that was occurring. But also I saw myself leading people down to inner earth because I knew the cataclysm was coming. And a lot of Atlantis was wiped out in Lemuria. A lot of people have had visions or dreams of like these tidal waves coming and killing them. So there's a lot of trauma from Atlantis and Lemuria, but it's a big part of our history. And some of the beings who were able to survive, they escaped underground, like Mount Shasta is an example in Mount Shasta, California. Hawaii is apparently like the top part of Lemuria.
Really?
So, yeah, there's a big connection.
Mauna Kea, like the big mountain there. Is that where? So are you saying there's inner Earth beings there now?
There probably is. I haven't connected with Hawaii as much. I haven't been there yet. I'm actually going there in April.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going in April for a conference, the Journey to Truth conference / Hawaii retreat. So I'm
out there with Brian in April.
No way.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I think it's April for sure. That's cool.
Okay. Well,
what island are you going to?
That'd be cool if it overlaps.
I know.
But yeah, there's a lot of Lemurian connection in Hawaii. You could easily look up more information on that. I have more experience with Mount Shasta because I go there every summer and I do retreats. I do spiritual retreats in Mount Shasta each summer.
What do you got going on with Mount Shasta? Like, what have you tuned into in regards to the mountain?
So there's an inner earth civilization called Telos that is under the mountain. And it's just amazing. They're living in like a 5D reality. Okay, we basically descended. When Atlantis and Lemuria fell, we descended. Civilization was restarted. But some of these survivors, so the survivors from the cataclysm live in, some of them live in Telos, which is under Mount Shasta. Wow. And the veil's, it's amazing. The veil's very, very thin there. Yeah. And some of these beings have actually been alive since the cataclysm.
Wow.
Like over 12,000, like they're old, but time doesn't work the same. And because they live in a different frequency, different dimension. And they don't age like we do. They're like beautiful, and they're a little bit taller. They have fair skin, the long kind of like light hair. They're very just like clean, high vibrational, loving beings. They work in harmony with nature. So a lot of people have connections with them, actually, in past lifetime connections with them. I believe that probably everybody here has had an Atlantean or Lemurian connection, or at least most.
That makes sense. Now, do you have any goals for the new year?
Oh, what are my goals for the new year? Well, I've been focusing a lot on YouTube, growing my YouTube and focusing on more content. I post videos, each week and different psychic updates and things like that. But I really want to work on creating more kind of like course programs, things like that, traveling more to these sacred sites. I have a retreat that I'm hosting in Mount Shasta in July, but I will also be probably doing a Sedona retreat in spring. But after that, I want to start doing abroad, different sorts of things abroad, and kind of exploring different locations. And I just love connecting with the power and just the remembrance of some of these very sacred sites. Like, they have high energy and they have kind of keys and codes that can help unlock you. So if you're drawn to these certain sites, there's a reason for it. You might have been there before, or it's giving you some sort of a wisdom or helping you with some sort of a shift or healing or upgrade or something like that. And then also in turn, you're helping the land. You're helping to activate, heal the land. Like you're bringing your light. So I love travel, so probably more of that as well.
Where's the number one place you'd want to go that you haven't been?
I'd love to explore, Bimini just popped up in my head. somewhere with like an Atlantean connection, I think would be very powerful for me. Bali is one I've been looking at. Indonesia with now I'm totally forgetting the name of the Angkor. I've seen Angkor, that sacred site. I've actually seen that site as like it's part of a whole machine. These sacred sites and ancient ruins across the planet are not just sacred sites. Like they're part of a whole machine, a whole energy device that I believe are becoming more activated. Like the pyramids, that was free energy. That was technology. It's not just, it's not just for looks. So in Angkor Wat, I've seen that as having like a whole underground kind of network and acting as like this kind of energy, this advanced technology. We're just seeing the ruins, but there's much, much more to it. So that's another spot that I would like to check out. I went to Egypt this past year, and that was pretty incredible as well.
Is your Mount Shasta retreat already sold out?
No, it isn't. It sells out super fast. I haven't even announced it yet. I'm actually probably going to announce it. I don't know when you'll be airing this, but in January.
Cool. Yeah. All right. I'll put information on how people can find that, and everybody should go subscribe to Lily. Is there any other ways that we can get in touch with your work?
I do Patreon. I host a Patreon too. If anybody is interested in that. But yeah, I'm very active on YouTube. I'm very active on Instagram as well. I like posting short updates, and I'm lilynova.official on Instagram. And my website has a lot of good information and different workshops and things like that too, lilynovacontact.com.
Awesome. Any final message for the Heart Coherence Collaborative?
Heart Coherence. I mean, that's it right there.
Yeah, let's go.
Getting into that heart space, and anybody has the ability to tap into infinite wisdom. It's literally all around us. You don't have to look outside of yourself for the answer. That's really what my star family, they help me. They're my guides. But sometimes they won't even answer me because they're like, we're waiting for you to figure it out.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't like wait for something external. This is all about an internal shift. And if you just sit and meditate, or even just spend time in nature, you can just focus your energy inward and just ask your higher self, whatever it is you need to know, or whatever it is you want to tune into or explore. Literally, you are the technology. You are the advanced technology. You are the answer that you have been looking for. So that is a very important message.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Lily. You're welcome back anytime. This was great. So thank you. And bye, everybody. We love you.
Thank you.